Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today is my weekly Plan With Me video. How I made this planner will be linked in the description box below, along with all the supplies I am using. And I just realized I didn't even grab them all. Oh, yay. Okay, let's write down what I drew for the week. I'm doing Mab's Drawloween. I'm doing 2 videos a week, so I did a artist journaling video and the benefits of that, and then I did a week 41 video, so that means I'm doing week 42. Oh my gosh, October is gonna be so quick. Okay, I drew a mushroom themed art yesterday. All my daily uploads are on my Instagram if you are interested and want to follow along. Gosh, what is that? Baby Yaga? I was not familiar with that. It's like a witch, but she has this house that moves and it has bird legs. So I watercolored the house because, oh my gosh, that is fascinating. Okay. All right. Everything spooky related. So that's what I did for the week in Rewind. We will get to my gallon leather. I have a multi-color. We are doing things with spines and quills, this 2-week spread. And I did a hedgehog last week. So this week, let me grab my supplies and we'll get going on that. All right, we are zoomed in and supplies have been grabbed. I use a Copic multi-liner in warm gray to write the dates. I really am digging this. It's kind of like a faux Hobonichi weeks, where instead of just 1 week on the page with a blank on the right side, oh, I apologize for the loud cars. I've split it's a B6, so I've split it in half and I'm doing 2 weeks. And then I can write what I've done for the week and do a doodle and drawing, and I don't have to worry about drawing across grids and graph lines. So that's been very nice. So I did 7 Drawloween drawings, which, I mean, I'm over halfway done with this drawing challenge. How crazy is that? It's going by really quick. Which means I need to make sure that the rest of my year for the last 2 months is completely laid out and organized, or I'm not going to be able to wrap things up in a timely manner before 2026 starts. How crazy is that? Okay. Oh man. But I think I should be okay. All right. Now I was going to draw with, I have Neocolor 2s, and you can use these like a wax pastel. They're pigmented, they're light fast, they're a lot of fun. It's kind of like a fancy pants watercolor stick. I have the smallest set. I don't even remember. I want to say I got this in 2017. I got a lot of supplies in 2017. If that sounds like a story I've told you before, that I purchased something in 2017. I had a couple of years where I did a ton of purchasing. And basically it was because I finally had, like, all 3 of our kids were in school. Our twins were finally in kindergarten, and our eldest was in, I don't know, 3rd grade. And so I was able to get some of my time back for some other things like art. So I did a huge purchasing thing there. And then with the pandemic, I didn't create any art. I took the year off. So in 2021, I went crazy as well. And yeah, those are 2 huge purchasing years. So I am using the Winsor Newton Cotman watercolor brushes. These are the rounds. I have a 4 round and I have a 00, which often when you go to buy it, it'll just say 2/0. I really like, they're super budget, and I'm kind of rough on stuff. I'm not very like gentle and careful. So you can like full on draw like wax pastel. Like that's the thing you can do. Or what I do is I kind of activate it. Oh, and I need a little have a little towel here, which has seen better days. And then I just kind of lift pigment from the actual product. And this is how I can watercolor with this product without creating like striations. Sometimes I feel like when I go hard with this product directly on the page, it's really hard to sort of clean up the hard lines of that. So, and I am painting. I am doing some art here of an Argentinian porcupine, and I like them because they have the big noses. They're like, there's New World porcupines and Old World porcupines. This is more information than you ever needed to know about porcupines, but they're cute. I can't with it. I'm a huge animal lover. I can't move past it. Anything with big noses or like weird hands, like you've got my attention. Like voles and moles and I don't know, things that are just like have the weirdest. I'm doing little tiny tick marks because they have multicolored quills, and it's one of those, they don't actually shoot their quills. It's kind of a myth. They're nocturnal. Most of them are. I was looking online. I was trying to figure out how many different species there were, just so I can give you like some facts, some information. There's 29. The rarest is an albino, and if I can find a picture of him, I will throw it up. I will look and see. This video is probably going to go like way later in the afternoon than I intended, and it's just because I have a Monday where I can take my time. Some Mondays I'm rushed and I'm not starting my week off very relaxing, but I had a little bit more free time this Monday, so taking my time with it, which translates to going up a little bit later. And I apologize for that if you were looking for a consistency with upload times. That's not me on a Monday. Like, that's not something I think I'm capable of for Mondays. What else do I know about them? They're mostly herbaceous. So they eat like leaves and twigs and stems and fruits and barks, but I think sometimes they eat insects. So that's kind of interesting, yeah. They can climb trees. So the New World porcupines can. The Old World ones could not. I think there's like a prehensile tail situation. There's a lot of stuff. If you're into primatology and you've studied monkeys and stuff, you'll know about prehensile tails and New World, Old World things. I'm trying to remember all the things I took in college. I had something that had to do with monkeys. I don't remember what it was. I need to look up porcupine sounds. That's like not a thing I'm familiar with, but apparently they make a variety of like whines and grunts and coughs and wails and shrieks. We have something near us that shrieks in the middle of the night, and I was looking up animal sounds. Thank you, YouTube. I was doing that on YouTube, looking it up, all the different noises and stuff that can be found like in our area. I'm fairly certain it's a fox, like a red fox. I know. So, not a porcupine. Let's see, how long do they live? They live in the wild is totally different than in captivity. So in the wild, I think it's like 5 to 7 years. But in captivity, they can live up to 20, and that's a huge age difference. Poor babies. I don't like that at all. So, yeah, their quills are their self-defense. And they can use them to make themselves appear larger and more intimidating. I just think they're so cute. I apologize if you're trying to like intimidate me, but oh, it's not working. She's one of those ladies. I don't go up to wild animals though. I leave things alone. So I'm not known to be like, oh, it's cute, I want to touch it. And it's like a wild animal. That's not a thing. Okay, they do have natural predators. So wolves, cougars, foxes, Owls can be a problem for porcupines. I know. It's kind of crazy. He doesn't have the biggest nose out of all the porcupines. There's some other ones. I'll throw up some pictures of stuff. You see like dog videos and stuff of dogs getting attacked, or maybe they've disrupted and scared a porcupine. Like those vet videos. It looks so painful. I apologize for my throat. Yeah, it just looks so painful to be stuck with like quills in the face and the nose. Oh my gosh, no. So, when it comes to dogs and dog training, make sure when you get a dog, one of the first things you teach is leave it. That's a really good command. Leave it and stay. We have a huge dog. She's part Mastiff. So we knew really early on that right when we got her, she was like, I don't know, 35 pounds. She was pretty big. She was a few months old. I think, oh gosh, 3 or 4 months old, maybe. Anyway, I don't remember. But the training right away of sit and leave it, because we knew she was going to be over 100 pounds. And how do you tell a dog that, weighs like over half your weight to leave it and stay, and like they need to listen? So yeah, it's real important if you live somewhere wild and you have a dog that you teach them the proper commands to follow your instruction for their own safety. There's just some wild animals that just don't care, and like boars are super dangerous and mountain lions can be super dangerous. We have a few of those. I laugh often when I read our news because our local news is really silly. We had a bear break into our zoo and look at the bears. So that was a thing that happened in our news, which made me laugh. I'm like, this is so like the wildlife here. Sounds about right. It tracks. So they just, closed up. It was in the early morning, so they just didn't open, and then they waited for the bear to leave, and then they opened up. It was really cute. Like, just coexist. If he wants to look at the bears, that's fine. We have a couple bears that are, our zoo is kind of special. Our zoo is a very specific breeding zoo, so animals send stuff to our zoo if they're on like the endangered or threatened list to help with breeding numbers. Our zoo does that. We take a lot of injured animals in the area that can't be released back into the wild, and those become like learning, teaching things. So we have like some raccoons that were trapped in a hot attic, and it did brain damage, so they can't ever be released into the wild. So they're kind of like a teaching tool of how to coexist and live with raccoons, and make sure that you don't have stuff that they can get stuck in. And they have some really cool like teaching conversations with a bunch of the animals that can't be released that live locally. And I'm just here for it. I'm here for everything that teaches me stuff. So all right. Yeah, the red pandas. The red pandas are part of a breeding program. So we had red pandas that was like a father and daughter. They were kept together. They were bred and then kept together. Well, he was bred to make her, because it's hard for them to track red panda numbers, I guess. I've listened to the talk they've done on red pandas several times because it's so fascinating. Like, people tried to own them, people tried to domesticate them. There's a bunch of weird stuff that happened with the red pandas, and like how they're their own thing, and like just trying to categorize them and stuff. It's just fascinating. So yeah, they love grapes. It is the cutest thing because they're nocturnal too, but they'll wake up if you go to feed them grapes. Not me, but one of the folks that works at the zoo, and I don't know their specific title. They have some volunteers, they have some like zoo specialists. They're just lovely people. Animal people are my favorite. They're just my favorite people. Okay, I need a little bit of pink here. Anyway. If I was going to do like a full illustration, not just like one of these smaller doodles, I would get out my painting palette and mix the colors in wells to get like the very specific pinks and stuff. Because they've got like little pink noses. I can't. It's so cute. But it's like too strong a pink is the pink I have. When you know the color you need, but you don't really have it. Yeah, I have a really simple set. I don't know that I would ever own more of these. Again, I just have a lot of watercolors and, you know, in tubes and pans. I have under 100 combined total, which may or may not be a lot depending on what you own or what you watch with the creators, but a lot of these products kind of overlap. But I always thought for like travel and uniqueness, like if I was in a soft pastel mood, taking these with me or having these, and then if I just got bored and was like, no, I'm kind of burnt out of the soft pastel effect, I can just add the water and have the watercolor effect, you know? So that was kind of my thinking on this, but I just have the 12. I have the smallest set number. I think they were on sale through Blick. I used to live in a city that, I used to live in a big city and they had a Blick store. What? I know, it's crazy. I don't do that anymore. I don't live in a huge city, so I live in a forest. Living my forest life over here. So it's kind of crazy. It's crazy in a different way. I need this to dry a little bit, and then I need to create nose nostril holes. And they kind of have like buck teeth, dirty buck teeth. It's like drawing a beaver. Have you ever like drawn an animal that you're like, oh, it's so cute, but then like the teeth, and you're like, well, they don't have dental care. So kind of have to go with what they have. So a lot of these animals that have like crazy teeth, they're really yellow to the point of almost being red. And that's just because that's, you know, they don't have availability of things and their teeth do a lot of work. So that's kind of a thing. They have little things here and little things there. Okay, I think we're doing good here. And I don't want to draw dirty teeth, but I kind of have to draw. them. They're just not. They're not clean teeth. So I have a buck tooth situation. Okay. All right, this is kind of my guy here. And they have a cool tail. And I can include a little bit of that in here. It gets bigger again. New world versus old world. Porcupines. I think they get a bad rap. They're just trying to defend themselves and live their best life. You know? So, teach your doggos to leave it and be really, really careful. Because gosh, I can't watch any more of those videos of dogs with quills in their nose. It just makes me so sad. Okay, and then let's do... Hold on, I kind of need a little bit of pigment, but not a lot. I don't know. Kind of reworking this nose a little bit from the angle. Too much. I'm trying to fade things in, and Make it look a little more natural. All right, let's do some birds. Okay, I love a good bird silhouette. And you guys know the bristles on my brush are just, they're tired. I'm using this brush for my painting challenge. I haven't bought brushes in a while. I'll have to think about that for next summer if I need more brushes or not. I don't think I do. I think I'm okay. Probably need more ink though. I think ink's the thing I'm gonna need more of. All right, so there's my guy. He's a little silly. He's doing his best. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'll throw up pictures of porcupines and stuff just because they're so cool looking. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.